Dun, ba, dun, 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 dun. Hopefully.
No.
Yep, seeing an ad.
Okay, well, mine's not
There
refreshing.
we
Hold
are.
on a second.
Okay, so I'm saying something, so you say something straight.
Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back for another Trekyards Live, where we're going to talk about just sci-fi franchises in general. This is kind of like the ship version, you know. If you got anything you want to talk about, if you want to send a super chat, we'll chat about it and
All the
discuss
sci-fi.
what we think about it, whether we've seen it. But yeah, why is this not refreshing? What is happening?
Okay, cool. There we go. Yes. Sci-fi is strong with us. And Stuart looks confused.
Because my computer is not letting me refresh the...
Oh,
It still says we're offline.
well, I believe we are here. Let me double check. It says yes on the phone. 31 people watching. Stream 71 seconds ago, 73. Hello, everybody. Bonjour, Captain Evening Commander. Hello, Mike. Main Blag Banner says good evening to you too. Alan Copeland, hello all. Devereaux,
Hello,
hello.
Justin.
And Zeraxis. Afternoon, folks. Well, here we are. Talk about some sci-fi of the non-Trek variety. We like to have a bit of variety out of our hardcore TNG Trek reviews, which, you know, you could argue is the most hardcore Trek possible, in the sense that is like the golden Trek. But we'll talk about the everything else. Everything but Trek. It's like the everything but Picard. It's like everything but.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So you guys let us know. Anything sci-fi related is fine with me. So any shows from the 80s, 70s, whatever you like. If we know it, we'll talk about it. If we don't, yeah, we'll see how it goes.
I saw the honest trailer of the Blade Runner sequel. Did you see the Blade Runner sequel?
Yes.
What do you think of the Blade Runner sequel? Blade Runner 2049.
I liked it. That was good.
And compared to the original?
The original's boring as fuck, so this
Was
one's
that
better.
what you always thought, or have you changed as you've grown up? Or
No, I've always hated Blade Runner. It's just too boring.
Did you
It's too...
cinema it?
No, I don't know. It's too slow, and it's just, no, it's not paced well
Do you
at
see
all.
why people like it? As in, do you see the masterclass inside the boring?
Yes, I do. I understand why people like it. I just don't like the slow build up and the boring.
I wish Blade Runner is a thing where I wish there was just more story inside the frame. It's like he built this beautiful exterior and filled it with one desk, one chair, and said, "Here's the full house." And you're like, "No, no, no. I know it's pretty, but can we have a bit more substance?" The film is not full of substance, and the fact that Harrison Ford rapes an android makes me really uncomfortable. Don't know why you thought that was a good idea. Sure, let's do that. As, you know, androids don't have rights, I guess. But it's definitely a cool film. The fact the miniature work is so excellent. I mean, those cityscapes are very, very impressive, and they still hold up perfectly well today. Although it's interesting how the... Let's see, I was going... Oh, well, there you go. The different versions of Blade Runner actually have a different colour grade, which, given how important colour is, really can make a difference with how you perceive a film. You know, make it a bit too blue, you make it a bit too orange, can really change the vibe for sure.
I'm back, but I'm really having issues. I can't do anything with my live studio.
Well, why don't you just restart the PC and I will hold the fort until you come back. It's going great. Well, let me address the super chats, which we already got a couple of. Yay, awesome. And lots of Dan23 I see in the early chat. Oh, we had oh wow, Judge on 1981. $10 right at the start. Star Trek 2 through Far 4. 6. Movie I loved. Busy day. People hit that like button. Make Jeff. MJF. Yes, I assume he disappeared. Let me turn that off and swap to the webcam. Sorry about that, guys. But Stuart will be back in a moment. I'm sure he just hung up the call without thinking I'd say goodbye. Tut tut. Mr. Stewart. There's a loud plane outside. There we go. Ha! Roughly okay framing. Yes, thank you, Judge. That's a great way to start the thing. Thanks so much. And then Olivia Julius, $5. I like the Adventures of Fertily. The Amazing Story of Picard Fertilizers. Wow. I really should read the entire thing before reading it out fully. Damn you, Olivia! Oh, okay, she does mean fire. Okay, good. Firefly, yes, Firefly. Brilliant show. And hopefully we'll talk about it. Hopefully we will. Fan Produce need to give the 70s Battlestar its credit. I've only seen some of that Battlestar and more when I was younger. I was, coming from the days where you had to have VHSs or DVDs, and we had neither a VHS nor a DVD, and so I only would catch it when it was on terrestrial TV, and we never specifically looked for it. And then I was able to catch the new the middle BSJ, I guess. There's now a new one coming out on actual as it was airing. So I've only seen parts of it, but I remember when I was younger, I liked the designs, but it didn't grab me in terms of story. And obviously you need that. But to be fair, Farscape was also, I only watched part of that when I was younger, and it semi-grabbed me, but then when I watched it properly, it was absolutely exceptional. But I'm sure ask Stuart about that Galactica, he will talk your ear off. But Fat Produce, I really miss early SG-1. Yes, Stargate SG-1, that's an amazing show that, by season 1 is reasonably good. For especially for a first season. But season 2 it had a massive leap in quality, and by 3 it's already the show you want. And it keeps that sort of purity for 5 years. Has Jonas Quinn year, which is not bad, something like highlight, and then 7 is a very unique season, and then it shifts to being a different show for a bit. But yeah, some of the just so much good quality Stargate. Spino Breaker, shout out for Sci-Fi like Silver Sun and Hyperdrive. Sci-Fi's like, okay, what's Silver Sun? I will start. Doesn't even come up as a Silver Sun Sci-Fi. Silver Sun TV series, 40 episodes. Okay. Doesn't even come up as a Googleable thing, really. 2 seasons, though. There is Stuart.
I need to restart the computer.
I did suggest that, but then he disappeared before I could hear you say, okay.
I never heard you suggest it.
Well, they did. I have proof.
Alright, have you read any Super Chats yet?
I've read most of them, but I think they obviously want you to read them, because who the hell cares if I read them?
No, if you've read most, I'm not going to read.
Right up to Spino Breaker, and I'm making note of them so we can jump back and talk to them. So Zeraxis is next.
Zeraxis, $5. Blade Runner, the original, has some of the best music ever put on screen, in my opinion, but it's slow and doesn't have tons of rewatch value. I'd agree with that. All that.
Yeah, it's funny how you come right back into the discussion, because I told the other two one about that.
Yeah.
And also, I think Harrison needed to have more character, because he's a bit flat.
Depends which of the 15 fucking recuts you watch of the movie.
But even with the extra voiceover, he sounds bored, and it doesn't add anything particularly to me anyway. But I think the new one's a better film because it focuses on story more. But it probably is a half an hour too long, although it's still fun to watch for those full 2 hours and 30 minutes.
Mm.
There needs to be a really good hour and a half Blade Runner film where it's a very focused story in that world. Just a really good, strong, simple story. Just uses the world.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Olivia, $2. Samuel, mutiny against the captain.
He would know.
I know everything. Zeraxis, $5.
Thanks.
SG-1 and Atlantis are some of the rare shows that arguably don't have any bad seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Really wish Universe had gone longer, as it was just getting good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, which shows have bad seasons? Most of them have a few bad episodes, or at least some gems in a season.
Well,
That's-
Andromeda season 5 is a bad season. I mean, it's also in contrast, right? That's a bad season. I think the final season of Battlestar is its worst season, with some pretty rough episodes. But again, in contrast, Farscape season 4 also has a more rough time. SG1 without Jack is a less good season, where the average is much lower to good to medium episodes, but never any bad episodes. What other shows? That's the ones I can think of right off the bat. Well, there's some people super chatted to ask about the 70s Battlestar Galactica. I gave my thoughts, and I said you can talk about it longer than I could. So make that super chat proud.
I love the original Battlestar. I mean, it's got some cheesy campiness in it, but it's the 70s. And plus, they were doing the pilot, and they got rushed into production for the series. They didn't have a break.
That's a great face.
As far as I am.
They didn't have a what, Stuart?
They didn't have time to get any production done, essentially, because they got rushed into being a series. So a lot of the stuff, they were being handed scripts last minute, like on set, day of kind of thing, in a lot of cases, or rewrites for scenes that they'd filmed the day before. Like, so there was a lot of confusion on that set, which is a shame because a lot of the characters are like rock solid characters. The visuals for the time I think were really good, and the designs. But
do you think then that mass rewrites? Obviously, the pilot, there was the movie that became the first 2 episodes with some extra scenes, so that was obviously filmed separately. So episode 3 then, does that feel as if? Do you feel the rewrites that you're talking about? Like, does it feel like a mismatch of scenes a little bit?
Yeah, for some of them, for sure. Some of them are
God, what's going on with Stuart's internet today?
shows as well. There's some episodes, even in Star Trek, that you don't want to watch necessarily or show anybody.
They just have less shows to talk about. Although, like I said, we didn't have VHS or DVDs of it, so I only ever saw it if it was on TV, and the chance of seeing it on TV was low. So I've only seen a couple of them, and it's not really a show you go back and watch because you want to enjoy it. Like, a lot of these go back in time shows aren't, like, fresh eyes, it's not going to hold up in the same way. You've got to be in the mood to watch a bit of a, that might or might not hold up, we'll see, you know. But one visual I remember is the daft looking bikes on Earth.
Like, well, that doesn't count.
Right. Okay.
That's Battlestar Galactica 1980 or whatever, and that's bullshit. Okay. That's when they find Earth, and it's a whole new cast, Starbuck and Apollo gone, and it's just no.
That's basically the season 2 movie in a sense, like the reboot movie that was just a little bit after.
Yeah, that's crap.
So I remember that, and it's like, why the hell are there motorcycles with wings? Why? But yeah, that always confused me.
No, don't ever bring that up ever again. That's not part of the original Battlestar Galactica, my friend.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
Red, white, and blue line. It's in 5 pounds. Yeah. Hey, Samuel Stewart watched a bit of the show, liked the movie more, but well, still a great season 1, by far the best. I don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah, that's a slight problem with talking in between, and I don't know if that was because you had just come back at that point. If that's BSG, they only had 1 season, so the original. To SG what?
Don't know.
He's probably about Stargate, but season 1 is definitely not by far the best of SG1. I mean, that is okay. Wow, really? You think? I mean, must not see the rest of the seasons. I mean, that's all I can say to that.
A lot of people are saying Stargate season 1.
It always amazes me that people say they like the movie more, because the movie is a very standalone, decent action film. The series is 1,000,000,000% of character development, beautiful tech. And we've talked about this before, but the evolution of tech from a stolen fighter to F-302 to a battle cruiser, you feel it, and it's better when you were living it, because as our tech improved, their tech improved, so their monsters got smoother, and you could understand it better. That works, but you know. But I mean, I never understand that. The movie is different. Great, it's its own thing, but it's
the movie is not as good. I have to agree with that. Yeah, usually it'd be the other way around for some things like that. I think the movie was better, and the series kind of dropped the ball. But yeah, the Stargate movie is just kind of okay.
And you got 17 seasons of TV and 2 movies.
Yeah.
I mean, that's you know, it's like saying, oh, TMP is better than TOS. It's like, well, no. It just isn't. But the movie's still a pretty decent movie because the mythology aspect is so clever. Like, it was not done before in that form. And obviously you like Egypt, I like Egypt. Like, visually, it achieves its goal beautifully. I mean, you remember the moment in the movie where the pyramid opens up and you see all the light in Ra's room, and it's a massive set with all these beautiful hieroglyphs and all these props, and wow, this is a really good looking piece of sci-fi Egypt work. It's really cool. So they achieve what they do very, very well.
Yeah. Olivia Julius, $5. My favorite sci-fi movie is The Martian for its realisticness. Yeah, The Martian's really good. I have it in 3D, which is fantastic to see that movie in 3D.
Was it converted or filmed? Do you know? Because you should be able to tell.
It was filmed in 3D.
Oh, that'd be. I was tempted to watch it the other day actually because I got the 4K, and I just remember good vibes of that film. I do remember it was a little bit too long, but in the same way of you enjoy watching the longness. Like, you want to feel the journey, but it's probably a little bit too long, but it's still worth watching.
Look on the bright side. Whatley had to be on Mars for how long? And you're complaining that a movie's too long. So just don't even complain. Just stop. It's not too long.
It also shows that Matt Damon can carry an entire film by himself, pretty much. He's that charismatic and fun. Yeah. I just really like Matt Damon. And I also haven't seen the extended version. I don't know if that was the one you watched, because I have a version of it. I just haven't watched it yet. Not sure how. I
don't know. I got the Blu-ray, so I'm not sure exactly if it's extended or not. But
I remember although I don't know about you, Stuart, but that sort of film is not as sci-fi to me as this sort of stuff, because that just feels like NASA plus 10 or 20 years is different to me than Farscape or Battlestar. The actual science fiction rather than science fact pushed forward a little bit.
Yeah,
it's like a mission to Mars is really just astronauts with a bit more tech.
Well, what would you call 2001: A Space Odyssey then?
Well, that, but also a little bit more forward.
It's a science fiction movie, but yeah, I know what you mean. It's got the science realism in it, and it's close enough to our time that it's it's got a I know what you mean.
I kind of wish that was a separate category almost, because that's so close to now. It's like I get kind of annoyed when they call Marvel sci-fi. It's like, no, it's comic book. It's not like it's a different genre.
It rides that line though.
I know, but for me, it's on one side. The line, but it's on one side. It shouldn't be classed as sci-fi.
Yeah, but I can see why people do it. It's just a general audience thing. Sci-fi is all like the fan, all that stuff.
But that's too broad then. But I guess, like, what is action film? Action is anything with action in it. So obviously those terms are very broad. But yeah, that's just me personally. Not pet peeve, but something I've thought about before.
Yeah. Fat Produce, $5. Remember when Stargate SG-1 became the Farscape reunion show?
Do you know the story?
Apparently episode 200 turned into Farscape or something.
Yes, but not just that. Although that is a great thing. So in season 7, there's a brilliant episode which has Daniel Jackson and the lady from Farscape, as you can see in the thumbnail, that lady. And she comes on board as a character in the universe, and she has great chemistry with Daniel. And then she's a one-off, great. And then they bring her back in season 9 as a recurring in like half the episodes, and then season 10 as a full-timer because she works well with the cast. And that helped change the last 2 seasons to be something else. And then they bring on Crichton as the primary male captain lead person in season 10. And so you have the primary 2 leads of Farscape as 2 of the new primary leads in SG-1 season 10 and one of the movies, or both the movies. And so but if you watch those shows back to back, that shows the acting, because they're both radically different characters, like very, very different, even though they're both so good in both roles. And then when they do the Farscape crossover montage scene, they all play alternate roles. So the actor Daniel plays Crichton, even though Crichton's next to them. So they all play alternate characters because it'd be funny if they didn't. So so it becomes a reunion, like I say, for 2-ish years. Well, for 2 years and 2 movies, and they have great chemistry, but in a different way. It's very interesting, and it shows how good they are. That they were not pigeonholed as either. It's fun.
Cool. Paul R puts in €5 with no comment, but thank you very much, Paul.
Thanks, Paul. We love you.
Jeff Jacobs, $2. 51 and under 15. Nice. 100 will be easy.
Well, on
the Expanse.
You talk, I'll share. I didn't know if you just went straight into it.
Oh yeah, sure.
Right, back a sec.
So yeah, guys, super chats are great, and you're doing that awesome today. We have a bunch of people here. Everybody, make sure you hit that like button, and don't forget there's other links and stuff down below for all the cool stuff that the cool kids are into. It's all in the description of the videos. So click those. But yeah, when he comes back, we'll just continue talking about these super chats, which are great. Somebody had mentioned, I've kind of been looking at the main chat, but it's flying by pretty quick. The Lost in Space movie. That's kind of a guilty pleasure of mine. A lot of people don't like that movie. I think it's really great. I think Mont LeBlanc and the rest of the cast did a fun job. I really enjoy that movie. I wish there would have been another one. But yeah, it's. I can see why people say it's a bad movie, but at the same time, I really enjoyed it and thought it was a good ride, at least. Plus, it had a fantastic soundtrack. So, yeah, they needed to make more of those. Just saying. Let's see what else we got here. The tech makes Marvel sci-fi. Yeah, it does. It's a different category altogether. I can see that argument. But yeah, for the general audience, it's sci-fi. So yeah, I get what you're saying, but I can see both sides of that argument for sure. Altered Carbon is fantastic as well. We know Ken Palco, who does all the props and stuff for that show, and we got to see them, all those props, before the show actually was aired. So that was always fun to see that kind of stuff.
And click like.
Yes, do that thing.
Cool.
Fat Produce puts in $5. I loved how SG1 had the same season 1 episode as TNG's Code of Honor. It was even written by the same writer. Seriously?
Give or take. It's better in Stargate.
Well,
a lot
it couldn't
better.
be worse.
Well, exactly. It's actually not a bad episode. It's just a sort of tone deaf episode, but it's actually a female empowerment episode, whereas the R's doesn't necessarily come off that way at all. But it's the second episode, because the pilot is a 2-parter, but carries over into third episode directly, so it's really a 3-parter. But the fourth episode is that episode, and it's like, ooh. The only thing it does really well is the costume quality is incredible, and that's all of season 1. Because in season 1 of Stargate, really focus on, we go to these alternate cultures, the Mayans and the Asgard, the Vikings, and the costume work is just really, and we've got many costumes from that show. It's one of our things, and just they put so much effort into recreating them, like beyond the TV level. I guess they had because they're filming in Vancouver, and at that point they had a lot of tax breaks, so they put a lot more money onto the screen, and you could tell. That's one thing I give Stargate for is the costume quality.
Yeah. Paul R puts in €5. You guys know about Warhammer 40K?
Okay, well now I'm gonna bring up Google, because we can.
I get so sick of that question. Yes, we know about it. I've known about it for a long time, way before Trekyards even, and still don't care. In my opinion, by far the greatest science fiction universe and lore of them all, and I know nearly every sci-fi universe. I'll have to look into it. We keep saying that, but it seems so weird.
Well, my question is why? Because that is, as you can imagine, that's an incredibly strong statement, given that some of these universes are incredible. And this is I'm not going to say just, but this is a thing based on a miniature series that you paint, and then everything else around that is to make you want to buy the miniatures more and paint them. So
it's a role-playing game, yeah.
Yeah, but miniatures and such. But to me, I always just thought of it as these. I mean, you can see these big tank guys. It's just like very. It's like how in what do you call it? Gears of War. I don't like the look of the people personally. They're too big and bulky. It's like that doesn't work for me. So these armor sets just look impractical, and their age. You look at the Master Chief Halo suit. It feels incredibly refined. Like it's just what you need to fight. These to me feel like a product of the 70s idea of, well, let's look to the future and we need to have them be big. So they're not aesthetically pleasing, and then the ship's just like, well, there's a huge variety, but none strike out to me personally as anything interesting. And obviously I never played the game or painted the miniatures, so, I don't know. Nothing about it grabs me, and we both don't like the idea of, 7-kilometer ships.
Yeah.
But seriously, why? Like, we will absolutely read that as a sub question, because I mean that's a strong statement that would love to debate more.
Mm-hmm. That being said, the YouTube videos of that one guy that did those 40K, those are fantastic.
Corridor Digital did some VFX breakdowns
yeah.
of them. Oh yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, they're fun to watch. They look fantastic. They're visually stunning, but there's not a lot of dialogue. You don't understand what the hell is going on.
There's any dialogue.
There's a little bit.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I did watch those, so
okay.
I appreciate them for what those are. Those are crafted very well.
Yeah. But it's one of those things that sometimes you just don't like the aesthetic of a world, of a universe.
Yep.
You know, for whatever reason. Whereas, like I said, for some reason, I love the Daedalus from Stargate. It's theoretically just a brick with 2 bricks on either side, but something about it, I know it connects with me on a story level, like everything about it, but it's just like that's.
Looks like the Battlestar.
I mean, a little bit like the Battlestar. It's not. I mean, you put them side by side, they're not that similar. They just have similar ground.
They could be in the same fleet. It could be the smaller version of another ship in that fleet, though, by the looks of it. Just the design aesthetic is there, that's all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Zero Access, $10. Personally, I love stuff with a real-world aesthetic and down-to-earth functionality. So things like Halo franchise, BSG, Stargate, Mass Effect, B5, etc. are all favorites. Basically, real-world plus. Yeah. It's just that, like you were saying earlier about the Martian and stuff. I still consider that sci-fi. Today plus a little bit more time, and it's very much grounded in sci-fi or science or space realism, which a lot of people really enjoy as well.
Well, if I said to you then, and see if this makes sense as an analogy, Star Trek is Coke, The Martian is Diet Coke in terms of sci-fi amount.
As an analogy, I guess that makes sense.
Because it's just taking out so much of the sci-fi-ness, but it's still sci-fi. It's just the light version of a sci-fi.
It's not fantasy sci-fi. It's realistic sci-fi. Realism. Like, yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you're saying.
Because it's like, if the Enterprise NX-01, right, didn't meet aliens, it would be very much on that spectrum, because it still feels very grounded. But I've got some of the Halo... I'm sure you know what Mjolnir armor looks like.
Mm-hmm.
But what's your thoughts on the aesthetic of the Halo? And this is some awful images for... Look at Halo Spartan suit. I don't know why... But what do you think of the art design for the Halo armor? I mean, it changes a bit, but what do you think?
It's great, but again, to me, it just gets muddied down with everything else. Every other sci-fi futuristic, suit. There's only so much you can do with a suit, and we see that in sci-fi all the time, especially with the Enterprise spacesuits when compared to the Discovery spacesuits. They all have that similar. And the only thing that was really out of the box was TOS, which I thought was great, but that was the 60s. Yeah, that was the 60s before they, But now everybody copies that one aesthetic, and it just seems like a copy and paste kind of thing with a few tweaks and stuff here and there. There's very little original as far as spacesuits go.
I mean, this is one of the slightly older ones.
Looks like hockey pads and biker gear.
I think for obviously I've got the affinity for this armor. I think this one kind of works because the helmet's such a good design. And it's you understand it. You look at the suit and you understand there's a guy underneath it. It's a mobile suit. He's got a lot of movement. It's enough for fighting in, but the armor looks thick. So it looks like a dude's in, like, it's a very human focused rather than suits that are more like he's in a machine body. You understand it's him with augmented tech on him rather than the other. So it has a certain different vibe. Then if I show you, have you heard of? If I can remember the name of it, it came out last year. Anthem. Have you seen the Anthem suits? Because I agree, a lot of stuff's getting recycled.
No, I don't think so.
I mean, you can still have nice-looking suits and still be incredibly unoriginal and somewhat dull. I think you would agree with that.
Absolutely.
I mean, obviously, I'm probably cherry-picking a little bit. This is one of them. I mean, obviously, we're limited by pictures here. Okay, so that's a suit from Anthem, although that's... I don't know which one that is, that's just a suit. What does that look like to you?
Gotta wait to see it first.
Yeah.
looks like a mix of Iron Man armor with. Ever play the game Army of Two?
I've seen the game Army of Two.
That's a fun game to play, by the way.
Yeah,
I played all of them, but anyway, yeah, it looks like a mix between like modern military stuff, Iron Man, and yeah, I see some Iron Man-ness in there.
which is actually, it's funny, you don't even know they fly, and that's their big gimmick. They fly like Iron Man, pretty much. But would you agree that looks very generic?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's nothing unique there that I see as being. I mean, again, it's one of the many suit variants. That's fine. That's fair. This is a picture of several, but it's not. You can't really tell. But that armor doesn't look as. Whereas the Halo one has a certain feel to it. It's a bit more distinct. You know, you could see that out of a crowd.
Well, you compare like Starship Troopers armor to the armor that the Marines had in Aliens to Halo.
That's true. The civilian stuff is a little bit different.
Yeah. You see like all the parallels and stuff, but I mean, there's only so much they can do with pieces that go on the body, right? I think one of the best things armor wise was The Day After Tomorrow with Tom Cruise.
Well, yeah,
where they had the like mech suits, which are like enhancements.
Not Day After Tomorrow. That's the.
What was it called?
That's the one where the world gets frozen. That's Live, Die, Repeat.
Oh, Day After Tomorrow is where he keeps dying.
No.
Yeah.
Edge of Tomorrow. Because I googled what you said, and it was the film where the whole world gets frozen. Edge of Tomorrow, Live, Die, Repeat got rebranded. But yes, those we all knew what you meant. Just.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yes. Criminally underrated film.
Yeah, it's a fantastic film. Anyway, so that they kind of went outside the box. But then again, you compare that what they're wearing to what they see in the Matrix Revolutions with the Zion armor, battle armor. It's the same stuff. So there's only so much you can do as far as that goes, I think.
Yeah, and that's also in a very different ballpark to a lot of the other armors because it is just it's basically just a mechanism that lets you carry heaviness. I can carry big guns, and to do that I have to have servos that let me carry it effectively. It's again a different style. Let me show you the Fallout armor. Because this is another one where I think they managed to...
Yeah, the movie's called Edge of Tomorrow, not Live, Die, Repeat. But yeah, Edge of Tomorrow is what we're talking about.
No, it's both. It was called Edge of Tomorrow in the cinema, and then got rebranded Live, Die, Repeat. So that's every Blu-ray says that now.
Yeah.
You said the other Tomorrow.
Yeah, I know.
Where's a good picture? Right, I assume you've seen Fallout.
Yes.
What about that armor? I can't remember what it's called. Which I should. I'm embarrassed. I don't remember what it's called. Well, something like that. I don't see. Well, something like those. More the one on the left. So I think it takes it over the power armor. Oh, power armor. It gives it a certain flair. Mostly, obviously, the helmet. But it's because it's meant to be that old school vibe that happens to have the new tech. So it's definitely...
It looks like concept art for Star Wars, man.
And you know what? It looks like Warhammer 40k. That one on the left, actually. Even the blue. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're kind of getting sidetracked with the armor thing, but yeah, I mean, sometimes the aesthetics just don't do it for me. Fallout doesn't work for me. I hate it because all I think is like really deformed stormtrooper helmet. Just doesn't look good. Sorry. Spinal Breaker, $2 Australian. The Stargate movie isn't even related to the series.
Yes, it is. Of course it is. Ra's in the damn series. Several times. You know it is.
O'Neill's 2 L's.
You daft so-and-so. That is one of the best examples of... I mean, that's probably the best example of a TV show adaptation of a movie.
Yeah.
Because it took the source material, it used most of it, rewrote a couple of things to make it a longer thing, and then became this other thing. It's probably the best example.
I've got a bunch of Stargate novels upstairs too, paperback novels as well.
I've listened to a couple, and some are good.
Yeah. General Grandius, $5. So for Mystery Science Theater 3000 fans, Joel, Mike, or Jonah? I've got a Mystery Science 3000 DVD upstairs, and I've seen a few of the shows, but I couldn't name them if I had to. Sorry.
I've never seen. I know there's an old one, Mystery Science Theater, the classic one. I guess this is the modern reboot. Isn't Mystery Science Theater like not anthology, but a clip show where they do like skits?
No, they watch movies and just comment on them.
Right.
It's like a commentary track over a bad B movie.
That's what
and you see them sitting in the
robots.
seats. Yeah, there's one that looks like a popcorn maker, and
why are there robots?
I don't know. It starts out with a little skit.
Right.
It's kind of like a show's bookended by skits.
So basically, it was a fully funded YouTube channel.
Way before YouTube. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Eugene, 500 rubles.
Hey.
Mass Effect, especially the first one, the incredible feeling of new space age exploration and frontiersmanship.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
I mean, let me. Oh, that's not great. I mean, Mass Effect is fun because it's one of the few franchises they committed to creating a full universe. Like, genuinely committing. You know, each race of ships look different. The villains the villains are basically just the shadows from Mass Effect, from Battlefront 5 in terms of design as well. But it was committed to a full design, and obviously you're playing it so viscerally. You know, you spend hundreds of hours potentially walking through his universe where you meet all the aliens and you interact with them, and you get a sense of the world. It's more than you can ever get from watching Babylon 5 or watching Trek. You know, it's a very different experience, and I was lucky to play it at the time, so I got everything fresh. And I think we've talked about this before, but we should do, next time I come to your house, we should do like a Mass Effect play and watch party and just play it together, and I can bring through the universe. It'll be good. You'll enjoy it. It's good stuff.
You should watch Spaceballs. You'll enjoy it. It's good stuff.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? I got the 4K of it.
Good man.
So I will be able to, when I get round to it, in a full 4K.
Oh, you probably hate it because you're like, everybody says it's good.
Well, yeah, but it's also meant to be a stupid film, so take that in. You know, it's like I know I like Batman vs Robin. I think Batman vs Robin is a fun film because it was clearly trying to make a comedy. Like, it's clearly making a spoof film, and therefore, if you knew Spaceballs was a spoof film, then the stupidity is the gag.
They're making it like a comic book come to life, like the original '60s Batman.
Yeah.
It's silly. Yeah. Squadron Course puts in $5. I love Kirk and Cisco, but new Adama has to be my fave. Would be fun to see James Olmos as a captain or admiral in Star Trek.
Yes.
I would agree with that.
That's a good shout out. I've met the man. He was so exactly as you expect in terms of like strength of just vibe. Yeah, exactly. Really, really good choice.
Yeah. Zeraxis, $2. I prefer the Bungie era stuff.
Halo
343 era art is meh.
Yeah, the original art design of the first 3 and a bit games is very. They know what they're doing, and then they try to be. The second company took over, and they tried to do their own thing, but it kind of like they said, "I'll take this shape and change it radically." Actually, let me show you. Halo, and see which one you think looks nicer. Let's see. Alright, so... Okay, here is a full selection of assault rifles, right? You tell me which is your favourite, and if you can tell which one is the we changed the vibe one.
Okay. I don't know. I like the top one.
Okay.
Third one's kind of cool. Actually, the fourth one's nice. Kind of more modern, but I don't know. I like the top one the best.
So this is in order. Halos 1 to 6. That's why 1 and 3 look the same, just in more detail. And then suddenly Halo 4, so the fourth one down, they radically changed it. If you look at image 3 and 4, you can tell they took the same shape, but completely changed it. Like, it doesn't look like the same gun at all. It's meant to be the earlier version, but I disagree completely. And then they said, oh, that didn't go well, we're going to make it look more similar, and then it sort of reverted. But you can see how they said, same aesthetic, but also completely different aesthetic, and it doesn't... I mean, for me, their fourth one while a fine rifle by itself loses all of the charm of the first one because the original rifle is so like compact and neat and a good shape. Yeah. Such as the example of like how radically different they had some things, and some of them was awful choices. But it's like with Discovery and Picard, we need to leave our own mark rather than respect the universe. We need to.
Yeah.
We need to. So yeah, do you?
Yeah. Martin Jorgensen, 45 Krona, Mass Effect, impeccably well-designed universe. Babylon 5 storytelling shows today can be jealous of.
Yeah. Well, and how far did you get through Babylon 5? Because I know you were doing some sort of watch.
Season 3 or something. I didn't finish it.
Okay.
Kind of stuff happened. We got sidelined, and then we forgot where we were, and then we just haven't gone back to revisit it. So
yeah, it's a show that you need to just keep watching. But you by that point you should appreciate how good it is. If not,
it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we were watching it here as well, and it's like just after Picard, it's like this is embarrassing. Like the writing quality is like a 9 to 10 out of 10, and Picard's like a 4. Just in comparison, it's just like oof.
Mm-hmm.
And it actually holds up better now than it did then because you see all the extra parallels of the world and how these themes are so universal, but also how the world has got more complicated since then, and some of the stuff is even more relevant. So,
Damien Howe, £2. Eureka was brilliant sci-fi.
Yeah, did you see Eureka? A town called Eureka.
No.
Really? It was a Canadian show again. But it was Canadian, Stuart.
Oh, yeah, because I watch everything Canadian. It has to be screened through me before it can go out to the world.
Oh, you did sign the contract. I know you get brain wiped at the end of every year, but to get all the crap off your brain.
Yes, maybe I did see it and just forgot. So there you go.
I mean, have you even heard of it? Because it's quite a well-known
show.
show.
I've heard of it, but it doesn't look appealing to me at all.
Well, that's a sci-fi in terms of it's sci-fi without space and ships. But it's a human drama, and it's a good combination of fun, clever, meaning it's more about the fun side of science while still being clever and some dark moments. And the lead is excellent, like very very good. I'll give the basic brief, the really basic. He's a very good sheriff of a neighboring town, city far away, and he accidentally gets like lost in this town, which is actually invisible. It's a science town, and it's hidden to the world by a cloak because all the best people went there to do their science. They can't, and don't want other people knowing about them. They've got like flying cars and science stuff. And everything's a miracle in there if you think about it. And he's so good at his job, he manages to undo a massive conspiracy in the town in the first episode, almost without trying. Like he tries, but like he's just there, just seeing things. Not like they're on a job. And then the actual main cop guy goes away for I can't remember the reason why, and he takes over. And it's actually promotion, and then he has to bring his daughter there, and there's a fun dynamic there. And so him, who has got the IQ of an average Joe but a good detective mind, has to deal with problems that are absurd. Like, there's a weather episode where they activate a 1950s weather device that makes it snow and lightning, and he has to help them deconstruct it by dancing with an old lady whose husband built it. There's a whole lot of things, and it's like 6 seasons or 7 seasons, and there's season arcs, there's individuals, mostly individuals, but some good season arcs, and there's lots of love interests, and it's a very character-built show that you would enjoy just for character stuff. And the lead's great, so.
Gotcha. Cool.
I never finished it, though. I only got to a certain season, because it wasn't as good by the end.
Yeah, that happens a lot with shows.
Yeah.
Becky Schultz, $2.
Thank you.
Giving it conflict.
What?
Did I get cut off again?
Yes.
Giving a shout out to Earth Final Conflict.
Did you see that show?
Nope.
But it's a Gene Roddenberry show. Jesus.
Oh, well then I have to watch that too.
Well, why wouldn't you?
No. I saw Terranova. Terranova was fantastic. I love Terranova.
Not a Gene Roddenberry show. I did like Terranova.
No, I didn't say it was a Gene Roddenberry show.
I know, but I was calling out for Gene Roddenberry. No, Earth Final Conflict's pretty good. It's very 90s though. Like it feels 90s, and that's a hard feeling to, and the cast change. I don't remember liking Magel's in it quite a lot. She's a recurring, but they got some really fun biotech. And the main alien ship is invisible. Is a see-through ship. It just is. and they're actually see-through aliens too, but they force themselves to be solid so people can talk to them. They're actually translucent and invisible, so that's quite fun. And it's a fun story of how the aliens are interfering with human culture or not, and there's different political sides saying, should we do more, should we do less, should we give them tech, should we not? And I absolutely adore the little fighter that's in it, the shuttle. I think it's really cool. And I'd love to 3D model that at some point, because I just think it's a very nice design. Yeah, there is. Well, kind of a bug ship, but it's the way it moves and plays and things really fun.
Cool.
So it's a more unique show. It's very much the what if aliens came to Earth and they were really nice, except maybe they're not. Sort of vibe. Yeah.
Yep. Obi-Wan, $10.
Hey.
I love Mass Effect. Check it out, Cap, and the new BSG rocked.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Just because the new one's good doesn't mean the old one isn't good too. In a different way. Dan 23, £2. Third Rock from the Sun is very funny.
I think I know what that is. Let's see if I remember it.
Yeah, it's got some funny moments for sure. I haven't watched all of it, but I enjoyed what I saw.
Now, are the parents aliens or is the kid an alien?
Both.
Oh, they're all aliens.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Is that okay? Yeah, it was a little bit before my time, and you know, again, if it wasn't on TV, like these things had to be screened on English TV for me to see them. So I'm not going to see most American sitcom-y things. Why would you know?
Like, yeah, some of my favorite sci-fi, honestly, is like original Transformers, Thundercats, like a lot of the early 80s cartoons. I mean, you might not consider them sci-fi, but Thundercats definitely was. They left their planet Thundera, which exploded, and they had to go to Third Earth. So I consider those sci-fi as well.
Well, if it takes place that much in space, why would it not be sci-fi?
Well, because it's an 80s cartoon. A lot of people just automatically reel them out because it's just kids stuff, which annoys me a little bit. Transformers is definitely sci-fi, especially all of them, but G1, they're from Cybertron, so, also Knight Rider, all that.
That's not, I don't think that's sci-fi. I wouldn't.
I know you don't.
Yeah, not remotely.
But it is. So it's still in the sci-fi category. But yeah, I consider that sci-fi as well. Some of those other 80s shows as well. Anyway, just want to point those out before I get to the next one, because it's going to be a conversation everybody's going to have for an hour. So, General Grandius, $2. Anyone care for a jelly baby? Favorite Doctor, go.
How many Doctors have you seen, Stuart?
I saw Eckert, Matt Smith.
Eckert? Eccleston.
Yeah. Whatever the fuck his name is. Saw him. I saw Matt Smith, and I saw Capaldi. And that's it. Matt Smith's the best. And don't give me that 10th Doctor, whatever the hell his name was. What's his name?
David Tennant?
Yes. I think. Yes. He's not the best, even though everybody says he is.
Well, everyone thinks he's the best because the modern people, they sort of liked Eccleston, and because Tennant was attractive male, that was charming, and everyone started watching it of the new crowd. Everyone started watching it with him, and it was fun and fresh. Therefore, you grew to love him through him. Whereas if you actually watch the old Doctor Who, you like it for the stories and the characters, not because he's a hot male or whatever. I started watching Doctor Who when I was like 8, and I watched everything from 3 up until the modern. And I do wish new fans would go watch the old stuff. And while they're harder to watch, obviously they're between 50 or 40 and 10 years old. Most of them better stories, because you can't tell. Well, no, they couldn't tell a fully compelling story in 40 minutes.
Well, it's the same as telling new BSG fans to go watch the original BSG. It's a slog to get through if you're used to the new stuff, because it's a totally different show. So I understand your pain there. Telling people go watch the old stuff that you grew up with, it just doesn't hold up as far as storytelling and stuff goes, or visuals these days. So yeah, I totally understand that. But.
And then also the budget, because obviously the newer stuff looks more expensive, even though at the time it could have been a high budget. And Doctor Who was never a high budget, but it always was more about the stories. What's nice is that the guy that played the Doctor was always good, so you could always rely on the acting to be good. And one of the problems with the older Doctor Who is that they would have half-hour episodes that was between 6 and 8 of them, and so they were longer, and there's always a bit of padding. So there was more story and more development, but more faff In the new Doctor Who's, at least the ones that, but for Capaldi, because that wasn't as much his problem. There was especially with Tennant, they ran a lot. If you count how many minutes they're running, it burns a lot of the episode.
It becomes a joke.
It becomes a joke. And if you've only got 40 minutes and 3 of them are running, 3 of them are the setup, you've now got 31 minutes of story, and the story isn't very deep. So the stories are never as good. Maybe some good spectacle, but the story is the important thing. So you said Smith, and I still say Paul McGann is my favourite Doctor. He was only in a movie and a webisode because he's the most well performed. He harnesses the role like no one else. But Peter Davison was my first Doctor, which means special to me, and I like he's a very he's the 5th one, the one after Tom Baker, because he's a very friendly man. He's very smart and can go dark. He's a good balance of all of them. He's overall a good person with some darkness, whereas you have all the different, like Eccleston's overall dark person with a little bit of happy, and then they all have everything between. But I think when Capaldi was written well, he was exceptionally good. He just wasn't written very well very often, which is a shame. That was all in the writers, 100% the writers, which is sad because he was better than what they gave him.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
There you go.
Tuning 3434 puts in €5. Seriously, Japanese Star Trek Mobile Suit Gundam. If you like Star Wars, but with deep characters and extensive politic building and giant robots. Well, I don't like extensive politic building. Don't give a shit. And I find anime very boring.
What have you seen then? Because I feel like the anime fans are like, what? Which animes?
I don't know offhand.
Or have they not even intrigued you enough to necessarily even remember them? If that makes
yeah,
sense.
Like Robotech and stuff. I find it even Star Blazers. Goddamn, a lot of stuff. I've seen a lot of it.
Is it because
one-off ones?
Is it because they're padded? Is it because they don't have enough story?
It's because of the Japanese form of storytelling is different than ours. It's I find it slow and boring, much like Blade Runner. It just universe building, dialogue is weird as far as the way a story is told is just different in anime. Because it's just a different form of telling stories. Plus, I think a lot gets lost in translation.
You can't have the same subtleties, and often they change the subtleties because of the
So almost every anime I put in, I fall asleep for because it's just
figuratively or literally.
Literally.
But you do start watching at 6 a.m. every time to fall asleep, so you do skew the metrics a little bit there.
No. I mean, I've seen a few. I've seen some good ones like Fist of the North Star and Ghost in the Shell, the original Ghost in the Shell. Stuff like that.
That I've seen, and that was a very long, drawn-out piece. I get the visuals are nice, but it was too long and drawn out.
Yeah, it was still boring, but yeah, there's a lot of things about it I like. So, yeah.
And personally, for me, big robots has never really scratched the niche. On this page, it's because they're so blocky. Like Transformers are a little bit different because they're actually creatures, but these sort of like when I look at that one on the right, all I see is big, bulky parts done in the past. It doesn't look real enough, sleek enough. You know what I mean?
So you're not a fan of Voltron?
Don't know. I have to Google Voltron. I can't visualize Voltron.
Oh, you need the lion one. Don't go with the car one. Lions. But that's like 5 mechanical lions that form into one giant robot. Kind of a trope of a lot of Japanese stuff.
I mean, I've heard of Voltron, obviously. I mean, yeah, they look fine. I mean, they look like what they are. There's not that much creativity in them. Like, they haven't gone outside the box very much, but that's not a problem, you know? They look fine, yeah.
Anyway, Voltron's one of my favorites as well.
Whereas I like some it all depends on the story. I like Zoids a lot, which is actually about robots.
I used to watch some Zoids. I tried to get into it. I wanted to like it. And I watched it on a regular basis. I loved the animation. But I couldn't get into the stories ever.
Did you start from the start?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Because the original Zoids is in 2 parts. One is when the children are like 12 and one's when they're like 25. And it's amazing because the breasts on one of the characters jumps from being she's a kid to ho mama. It's like, what? Like parts 1 to 30 is one. But the first parts 1 to 30 is very much more a kids show. But then it matures the fuck up for the second part. Like really adult and really intelligent. Like, but it because you've grown with it, it feels very natural. And the combat is so well done. but that's world building is just enough. You know, it's an interesting world. The story's cool, and the villain payoffs are incredibly well done, which helps. And the design work I think is better because each monster ship is more detailed than like again some of these pictures here. So I think it's always really good. I don't know if you consider Attack on Titan is an anime, but the story in the world is so intriguing that I like that a lot. I think it's a very, very well done. But that's obviously one of the more famous ones, and therefore it's probably better and more famous for a reason. You know, it wouldn't be that big in the West unless it appealed more in the West.
My son Thomas is big into Titans, Attack on Titans, but I never got into it. Just kind of stupid to me. So
yeah, again, it's something you have to watch it and build up in it because it's so intriguing, and I loved to watch it with Marie, who'd seen up to season 3, and I told her I'm going to question everything and see if I can work it out. Never confirm or deny because I want to learn it as we go. So I'd keep making theories, and she'd be like, "Oh, that's really interesting." No. But I'd keep having like it's such a you're like what is happening and it's so like building up and so it's so satisfying to learn, and this last season we learned a lot of stuff and it really changed the world drastically. It's so intriguing, although I do find that show especially between seasons I forget who everyone is because there's so many characters and there's some are quite generic. I'm just like I don't remember anything about you because you're not actually that important apart from the main 3 leads. Yeah.
And Christopher Rowland says Voltron or Power Rangers. That's easy. Gatchaman or G-Force. G-Force is superior. Voltron is superior to those. Power Rangers is shit.
I like Power Rangers.
I cannot stand anything Power Rangers. It's just dumb.
But it's just like Thundercats. It was a thing when you were a kid, and Power Rangers was a thing when I was a kid. But Thundercats had more money behind it, I'm sure, than Power Rangers did, which probably helped.
No, I think it's the other way around, actually.
I like the idea of Power Rangers. I like the base concept, but I really don't like the space season. That's what I actually like. That's like, you know, it combines obviously sci-fi as well. There he goes again. I was saying I like the space season because it actually is even more sci-fi. You know, they have to be adventurous with that. There's if I recall correctly, they obviously got the spaceship. They've also got like a surfboard, like Silver Surfer, which they can fly around on. Because I mean, their morph suits, whatever, can be space suits. So I thought that was more creative, and I liked that one quite a lot.
Dominic Wall has it right. Samurai Pizza Cats. That's fantastic. I love that show.
What?
Samurai Pizza Cats.
Okay, please pitch that to me.
They're fighting crime all over town. Yeah, fantastic.
I mean, I like the art design. I feel like I've seen it
before.
Yeah,
it's a funny show. It's a funny show. It's like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but better.
Is it literally just cats that are samurais that like pizza a lot?
Yeah, and they own a pizzeria.
Are there other?
And they fight ninja crows.
Oh, right. The obvious animal you'd associate with ninjas, yes.
And the bad guy is a fox.
Oh, is he foxy like a fox, or is he not quite as smart as a foxy fox?
Oh, he's Megatron levels of smart, I guess. Okay. It's a funny show. Samurai Pizza Cats is fun.
And when was that made then?
I don't know, late 80s maybe. Not sure exactly. It is a blatant ripoff of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but it's fantastically done. It's fun. It's a fun show.
Fun. I like it.
And it's got a cool intro song, which is always important.
Love it.
Dave Stelzer, $5. I like all the UPN sci-fi, like Legend, Deadly Games 7. Deadly Games 7 Days, and Jake 2.0. Yeah. Most of them were goofy but enjoyable. Eureka was great too. I never heard of any of those. I think I've heard of Jake. I think I've heard of Jake 2.0.
Yeah, that was more.
But I thought it was
one, wasn't it?
I thought it was like a half-hour, like comedy show.
No, that was a different one. No, yeah, I've seen a little bit of Jake 2.0. I think he's like accidentally augmented, and you'd recognize the science lady. She's in so many things.
What's that one?
Here, and it's a little bit hard to see, but she's yeah, had a few seasons. It was quite. I wouldn't say it really got to the fame level that other sci-fis did. I think it was a bit more of a niche one. But I remember liking it. I liked. Have you never seen 7 Days?
No.
7 Days is a fun concept in that people in the 90s make a time travel device on Earth, but they can only go back 7 days, and so he uses it to solve crimes.
Cool. It's a really good show that people probably forgot all about is Megas XLR. That was a fun show too. Megas MEGAS, and then XLR.
Okay. Oh, another cartoon.
Yeah, it's a giant robot with like a car for a head, and these two dipshits that. It's funny. It's again, it's kind of a spoofy show, but it's fun.
I think I've seen the guy, the big guy before. I think. Did you watch this with your kids then? Because I felt this is more of a kids show, and therefore you'd watch it with like Christian.
No, I did not watch just with my kids. This is way before my kids existed.
Really, the art style looks newer than that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Good for them.
It was good.
But 7 days is good. I think it's probably aged, but I like the concept is so good. It didn't last that many seasons, but the amount of times they could work out a way of creating a situation where you could solve it would go back in time 7 days.
Yeah.
And the amount of times it's like it was on the 8th day they can half fix, or it was only like an hour ago. And there's a great episode. It's like a season middler, and everyone in the facility gets just murdered, and then he has to go back, and he's like, everyone's gonna die in 7 days. Everybody and every. I got some all your deaths. Shit, he's the one that knows because he can't. That was an interesting concept. Simple, concept. But yeah.
Mark Lawrence, $5. Hey, Mark. I came in late. Did you cover Time Tunnel or Land of the Giants?
My dad loved Time Tunnel.
Didn't cover any of those. Time Tunnel was kind of fun. I've seen a few episodes of that.
Sounds like 7 days almost. Going back in time and solving things.
What? Sorry, I got frozen.
It's almost like 7 days. They go back and solve stuff. Almost, not really.
Yeah,
but it's another time thing. I remember my dad got the DVD of this. Was like, oh my god, it exists on DVD. He's very happy.
Jarzia, $5.
Hey.
I just want to say, as near the end of Stargate 1 Season 5, that I forgot how fun that show is to watch. Also, The Expanse is easily my favorite sci-fi today.
Yeah, SG-1 is one of the more fun sci-fis. A lot of sci-fi is dark. That one weren't dark. But also it wasn't jokey. It was real drama with jokes in. And yes, The Expanse, we know about The Expanse. It's an episode Enterprise where they introduced the Enterprise Zero Bird of Prey. Right?
Yeah. There's some weird anomalies in The Expanse that kind of cause crews to go insane and stuff. So
yeah. Oh, and
you need to coat your hull.
Tritium D, yeah, it's a dangerous stuff, especially to Vulcans. That's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
I feel like it is.
Everybody keeps telling me to watch it. I keep watching that episode over and over and over again.
Every time you ask for it, we watch it. It's like, oh my god, I know about Duras. Jesus, why do you make Stuart look at the ship he hates? God damn it! And every time he emails John saying, "John, I hate the ship," he's like, "Stuart, it's the 14th time this week." It's like, well, we had a podcast and talking about The Expanse.
Tell it like I see it.
Yep.
Jersey at $2. Dave Tennant was terrifying in Jessica Jones.
Brilliant in that. Yeah.
He's a great actor, yeah, but I hate how overplayed his doctor is. Plus he's so arrogant that he regenerated himself into himself. Yeah. That pissed me off a little bit, and I'm like, no, this guy's just an asshole.
But that was an almost retcon, It was just we have to do this. I mean, it was a good reveal. I remember the reveal at the time. The thing about Tennant is that he is actually more limited in range. When he's playing Exuberant, it's a very similar Exuberant. He did that Bad Omens, which I've only seen trailers of, but he plays a very similar character, as in terms of like how he's presenting himself. So he has a very, he plays enthusiastic well. But that's why they cast him, isn't it? The natural enthusiasm. It's like when they cast Garibaldi in Babylon 5, they hired him because of who he was in real life, which he brought to the character. Because he was almost the character.
Yeah. Eugene, 250 rubles. Have you tried Cowboy Bebop? Yes, he's had like VHS Cowboy Bebop something, which I watched a few times. It was all right.
I've heard good things, but I've never seen it.
Yeah, I don't remember much of it because it was quite a while ago. This is like 20 some odd years ago. Yeah, I haven't gone back to revisit it, so I remember liking it enough to watch it a few times, so sure.
I've googled it, and nothing in any of them just like sci-fi to me. It just looks like another anime shooty gun thing. Like
It is. It is an anime shooty gun thing.
Where's the sci-fi-ness?
I mean, I think they have a ship of some sort, like an airship or something. I don't know. I don't remember.
I mean, you can see me scrolling. Like it's just okay. You would think that'd be first and foremost in there anyway. But
well, that super chat came in when we were talking about anime in general, so not sci-fi.
All right. Yeah.
But yes, yeah. Olivia Julius puts in $5. I like this very unknown franchise called Star Trek. Has anybody ever heard of it? Star Trek.
Yeah, I've googled it. I'm getting a lot of images, but they're confusing because I'm seeing lots of actors and lots of weird costumes. So I don't know. Is it one thing or is it many things? Because it's not very consistent. Yeah, I don't know.
Never heard. Well, I've heard of it, but no, sorry.
They love red and gold, don't they? I mean, they're just so colourful. Doesn't look very real. How colourful.
Look at the pajamas.
Which one?
Like second row, last one. The pajamas there.
Well, no, it looks like a fleece. I mean, it doesn't look like pajamas to me. I mean, would you wear that? It's too tight to be pajamas.
It looks like they have booties on. Look like they have booties probably on their pants. And look at, doesn't that look like, is that made with cardboard, that set? I'm like, whatever.
Well, it was probably like a low budget pilot that they then, whatever.
Never heard of it. Ensign Ricky.
Ensign Ricky.
$5. Hey, Cap. Hey, Sam.
Hello.
1, Star Trek. 2, Stargate. 3, The Expanse. 4, The Orville. 5, Orphan Black. 6, Dark Matter. 7, BSG. Which one? Probably the new one. 8, Babylon 5. 9, Andromeda. 10, Farscape. It's quite a list.
Oh, is that in order? I assume so, but Orphan Black, is that a sci-fi?
Yeah, it's a Canadian sci-fi that's basically they make a clone of this one girl, and this actress plays like 6 or 7 different roles, and she's fantastic. I never watched it, but it was really popular. It did very well. So
not really sci-fi, more cloning, modern day cloning drama.
Yeah.
I mean, look at what's next to it. Star Trek, Stargate, Expanse, Orville, Dark Matter, BSG, Babylon 5, Andromeda, Farscape. All space sci-fi epics, and then a lady cloning. Not
but it falls under the sci-fi umbrella, unfortunately.
But you know what I mean? It's clearly the odd one out, isn't it? Of that list. Not in a bad way, and I'm just saying, like, again, weird to categorize that. But boy, looking forward to the Orville coming back. That's going to be good.
Jeff Jacobs, $2, 103. Sweet. Let's get our 150. We have enough people here. We could probably hit 150. Everybody hit that like button. Make sure you've done it. Do it. General Gorandius, $3.
Thank you.
Does Man in the High Castle count as sci-fi? Yes, absolutely, 100%. Kind of an alternate reality sci-fi though, because it's you haven't seen Man in the High Castle.
I want to see it. I hear it's great. I love the concept, but I mean,
I watched it all and I thought it was fantastic.
But yeah, we definitely wouldn't call it sci-fi.
It is though.
So they have laser guns. I mean, okay.
I can't talk too much about it because otherwise they'll give it away.
I mean, that's good. So I'm assuming like the Nazis really took over because of their alien tech. That'd be where I would take that.
That's yeah.
Yeah, well, that's fine. So that is sci-fi. But I wouldn't, alternate universe stuff is definitely fun. I mean, it's like it's funny. The other one, the Hitler one, the Moon one, what was it called?
The Hitler Moon one.
Yeah, where Hitler's on the moon, Nazis are on the moon. The movie, it was guys, you know what it is. Help us out, because that
Hitler on the Moon sounds like a B movie.
Or a weird song, because that one, Iron Sky, because that is definitely sci-fi, because not only is it alternate universe, but also they have a full fleet of spaceships and there's more tech, and that is actually sci-fi.
I haven't seen that yet, but I definitely want to watch that. I don't know where I can watch that. If it's available on Prime or anything, I would love to watch it.
It's a fun ride, considering it was like 6 people that did VFX, including people that worked on BSG. Like I know, Lee Stringer worked on it, I believe. Some people that we know worked on it. I think Lee did work. So it's people we know, and in Lightwave, and they pushed Lightwave really far for it.
But What is it? Netflix, Prime?
Yeah, I'm looking. No, that's the sequel. Currently unavailable. Great. Might be in the US though.
Yeah, I'll have to take a look.
But it's,
that's one I need to write down because I've been wanting to watch that and keep forgetting about it.
It's a film that watch it as as a half spoof, but only half spoof, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't think serious, but also don't give it credit because it's actually very ambitious for the time and it has some really fun moments. But it also isn't a big budget film. It does a lot with a limited budget. Yeah,
which I actually prefer in many cases because it's.
Oh yeah, the creativity factor is really high because the budget wasn't high. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see. We got Tenchi 2K7, $2. The Tenchi universe. His name's named after it, I guess.
Oh, and you missed David Stelzler.
Oh, did I? Sorry, David. $2. Check out Legend. It had RDA and John Delancey. What's RDA?
Richard Dean Anderson.
Matt.
So I googled Legend Sci-Fi show and nothing comes up. So can you be more clarification? Was it only a pilot? Did it not get made fully? Legend TV series. Science fiction western. Right. 1 season, 12 episodes. That's why I don't know it. Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
And Ensign Ricky, $2. It says Orphan Black deals with cloning, but on a sci-fi level.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it has more nuances than the basic premise would imply. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
And that's interesting. Dan23 says American Dad is not considered sci-fi, but I do like Roger. That's interesting. Because I mean, it has full aliens sometimes. There's certainly sci-fi episodes. I mean, there's the Roger two-parter, but it's got an alien in every episode that does really fun things. I mean, that's more sci-fi.
Roger's awesome.
I mean, that's more sci-fi than some of these things we talked about, but it's not sci-fi. That's interesting, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's where the cartoon should be a subgenre like Marvel. It's like, well, cartoons do whatever they want. That's why it's separate.
Then real life is science fiction because I'm sure aliens exist out there. So we're all living in sci-fi. Dun dun dun. Under the Dome. Heard of it. Interesting premise. I think they did an episode of Simpsons, a Simpsons movie, I think, was based on that. Or vice versa. But yeah, I've never watched it.
I know nothing about this. I'm guessing there's a dome.
Yeah, there's this small town, and overnight, a dome just magically appears around and they can't get out of the town.
Okay.
That's all I know about it. So, interesting premise, but
there's a season. I mean, that surely can't last many seasons because it's like 3 seasons. They couldn't get out for 3 years.
I don't know. Maybe they do get out. I don't know.
Although the showrunner says he's very satisfied with the end of the season, and so no more seasons are needed. Hey, that's a good sign. That does not always happen.
Nope.
Cool. Okay. Yeah.
Let's see. We got ISFJ 1009. Maybe I missed it here. Space 1999. Almost 3 seasons. Yeah, we've talked about Space 1999 many times, just not today.
Now, because that's British, did you just not see it?
Who, me? I watched Space 1999 when I was in diapers, for Christ's sakes. My brothers had the moon base model. My brother Sean had the little eagles, and I used to play with the eagles, and he used to be mad at me.
Wait, that was British, wasn't it? Or was it American? I thought it was British show.
I thought it was British too, honestly. But yeah, I mean that was one that my brothers always watched. That Star Trek and a few other things.
So that is British and did make Over the Pond. Then what do you think made that one so successful over there? That you zoomed on? Was it just because, like I said, brother watched it, so you sort of noticed?
It was on a channel that we could get with our antenna.
Yeah. As you
but
found
I mean
back then. Yeah.
That shared history of watching shows together at a certain time. Anyway,
I know from what my dad's a massive fan. He loves it. I believe the first season's the best 'cause it's the most pure. Second's more expansive but less, and season 3 is not very good because it changes most of the formula. I believe that's the way the consensus is about the show. And obviously, it's a weird formula. Like, you can only go so much with it without like diversifying. You know, it's like DS9, right? They only lasted without the Dominion for so long before they did a story which revolved around the galaxy and not the station. Like, they didn't last very long until they made it about not the station. And it wasn't about wormhole. You know, the Dominion War proves DS9 was a failed concept. They had to make it more interesting. And
well, it's like Gilligan's Island, one of the most most successful comedies ever made. Yeah. But yeah, they needed to find ways to bring people to the island that could then leave again without. It was crazy, but yeah, it's the same thing. It gets boring after a while. It's just one location. So
well, that's why it's kind of nice when shows actually evolve. There's a show that I talked about a while ago where each season was actually different. Oh yeah, Continuum. Have you seen? That's also a Canadian show. Not that means much to you. Now that's interesting because that I would call that sci-fi, even though it is just a lady in modern era running around doing cop things. But because she comes from the future with all the tech, and she has sci-fi tech, her entire bodysuit, and we see flashbacks, and more future tech comes in, so it gets more and more sci-fi. So I would say that sci-fi, but almost like
Isn't that with Amanda Tapping?
No.
Because she starred in one not that long ago.
Sanctuary.
Oh, okay.
A lot of green screen in that one. Never got into that. My friend absolutely adores it. She has like 15 costumes from it, literally. She has like 6 Amanda heroes.
Wow.
Yeah. But Continuum was fun because the 4 seasons, and it was pretty much cancelled. So they got 6 more for season 4 to end it off, and they had to rush it. But it was, they planned, once they knew they had it, they could plan it. It was just rushed based on what they wanted to do. But each year they actually changed the formula because they had to. The world evolved, and I liked that. And same with iZombie as well. That is a different show every year because each season the players know different things. Like the first year they don't know she's a zombie, and then they do, and it evolves, and then the world knows zombies, and then it's a really interesting show for that. You wouldn't think you could do that. I mean, how to do a zombie show? Well, like you said, how can you keep doing a zombie show where she's detectiving with zombie brain eating and never be found out? Because she's found out, and it evolves. But they still keep the episodic that you like best. And that's what keeps it strong. It's still a weekly crime drama, which is really fun, and it never gets stale, which is amazing, but has these overriding arcs to give the world the building. That really was impressive in terms of structure. I don't know a show that's been like that, to be honest.
Let's see. Fleetbox went back $5. I apologize for being late.
Very late.
I picked my doggo up from the vet. She got
fine.
spayed.
Oh,
have you spoken about Gene Roddenberry's Andromeda yet?
Not really. What have you seen of Andromeda?
I've seen most of Andromeda.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I missed a few episodes here and there, but overall, I've seen most of it because it was on Sci-Fi before Star Trek.
Oh yeah. What are your okay? Don't try and summarize. But what are your overall thoughts? Like, if you said Andromeda, what would be the first things you'd say? Like words, thoughts.
Went downhill. Started out strong. The first 2 seasons were good, at least, and then it kind of went what, and it just got worse and worse and worse. And it's sad to see when that happens, but I do enjoy Kevin Sorbo.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of Legendary Hercules and all that.
Yeah, I want to see him. I want to see him in that. I like the actor.
Watch Xena's better. Xena's a better show.
Yeah.
But he shows up in Xena a few times too. So, but yeah, I mean, Andromeda is great. I hate the ship design. I can't stand the Ascendant. I'm sorry.
I love it to pieces. Well, we talked about earlier about originality. How many mech suits look the same? Original. But that is actually the fully original design.
Yeah, the shapes are very unique and very cool design for a ship, but it's a little too curvy for me. I never really got used to it. Like it grew on me a little bit. And I didn't hate it as much when I first saw it, but it's still an outlier as far as ships go for me.
Well, we should do a follow-up because I have the real model of it now, so we should do a follow-up of our episode and learn to love it even more. Yes, Andromeda's an interesting show because it, just like Stargate, had an immediate quality jump. Season 1 is a little bit rocky. when Trance is just purple and like, you know, whatever. And they're very much like everyone feels more vanilla and more rough. Like there's almost like a filter on season 1 of being like, why they're not reaching the quality they should be. Something about it. And also the CGI is not good in season 1. It is okay. It's not good.
Yeah.
Season 2,
Yeah.
everything improves. Season 3, I mean, by season 4, the CGI is actually very good. It really amps up to really strong. And the characters and the fact they build the Commonwealth back up a little bit, and Trance becomes her amazing makeup with the red hair and the leather, like incredibly good makeup design. And you get these sub stories with the freighter people, and then you swap out the original guy for the reincarnated friend guy. Was interesting.
Yeah, I hated that, by the way. I really liked the what the hell was his name? Yeah, I really liked his character, and then he cut his hair and went stupid. It's like, what happened?
Well,
Why did this happen?
You mean the second character, the second actor?
No, the first guy. What the hell's his name? The guy's. Ooh.
Cut his hair? Not in the show though. He always has long hair in the show.
No, he doesn't. Oh yeah, he cuts his hair when he becomes a bad guy, and
for a little bit, like little bit of a bad guy, for like 2 episodes. You mean?
No, I thought that was the end of him in the show.
No,
maybe I'm missing something.
Yeah, because he basically says, "F all this. I'm actually the descendant of the spoilers.
Yeah,
I'm the descendant of the guy that started all this." And it's my job to kill you, basically. And then the last thing we see of him is he doesn't shut his hair down though, but he goes into this fight and like he fights single-handedly, and he's like leading the people, and we assume he dies after he realizes he has this destiny to be, you know, all of his development goes down the drain on purpose.
Yep.
And it's really abrupt and really weird. I never liked that personally. And then they bring back the other guy, which was I thought were cool because I like the actor. He's a good character actor, and the AI computer's great. And having 2 of her it was a very good choice. But yeah, season 5 is absolute garbage. It's one of the worst seasons of like a show. Like, how did that become? And actually, I talked to Kevin. I mentioned it at FedCon. He explained why, and it's like, oh yeah, it was always going to be shit. It was always going to be shit that season. And he said he still wants to make a movie as like a true ending to undo season 5 and do a movie to finish off because he thinks the entire cast feel robbed by that season and it was absolute garbage.
Yeah. Jordan Shred puts in $5 Canadian. Related to a previous stream, did I miss the second half where you put the ships up, Commander? Were you able to get the incursor class from E.C. Henry? That was forever ago, and yes, he did put the ships up. They're right behind him.
Hello. And no, I didn't do it on the stream because
would be boring.
Well, I mean, yeah, it was never the point. And no, Eric never responded to me. So.
Really?
Yep. That was a while ago. And obviously once it was up, it was like Picard like 3 days later. So I mean, it's yeah. But mostly everything else got up. I mean, pretty bloody packed. I think it's fair to say thank you everyone who contributed. Hopefully you guys appreciate the thing you sponsor because most people like didn't do duplicates. I think we had less than 10 duplicates over like 6 hours of streams. So if you sponsored this ship, like you sponsored that, you were the one person that sponsored the ship. So it was actually very impressive considering. Thanks guys.
Ensign Ricky $2.
Hey.
Harris raid, Telemachus raids. What? Words.
Oh no, Gaheris Rade, and it's the guy from Andromeda, the 2 versions.
Oh.
Wow, I really had to think about that. Rade, yeah. But they never call him, they just call him Rade, because it's a long name.
Yeah.
I really want one of these uniforms. I've almost got one once or twice. Not the red one, though. The blue one. Wow. Do you know what it looks like? Can you visualize it?
What are we visualizing?
The uniform that Sorbo wears.
Oh yes.
The blue with the big like buckles.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that uniform actually.
So do I.
Yeah. I'd like one. It's very shiny, which is weird.
Yeah. No, I agree. I like it. It's formal and like old military looking. It's
Yeah.
it's a good uniform for sure.
I like the Force Lance. It's really simple, but it's very.
I don't.
I mean, it's just a
Sorry.
stick. It is just a
Yep.
stick. But I've held one before. I've had a collector gave me one. It's actually in Friend Wars. I actually used it. I was able to like borrow it for like 2 months, and it's weirdly intuitive. When you hold a proper version of it, and this was based on the original, it's weirdly good to hold. It's like a dolphin phaser from Voyager. You'd think it'd be uncomfortable because of the grip, but it's like no, it makes sense. It's weird. It's like Enterprise C. Until you physically hold it, it doesn't quite work. For you anyway. Although the compression phaser we know from Voyager, we held that in LA, does not work. Terribly
Shit.
uncomfortable.
Yeah, and the Cardassian ones are super comfortable,
Yeah.
even though they don't look like they would be.
Yep. And
It's funny.
the Mako rifle, really small handles. I love that rifle. I was like, oh my god, I would make them bigger now. That's tiny. Doesn't work for me.
Yeah, things change when you get it in your hands. Eugene, 250 rules. Firefly, by the way, Cowboy Bebop is semi-science fiction western. They travel around the solar system. See Cowboy Bebop ships. So look up Cowboy Bebop ships. That's what he's asking.
Sure
Um,
thing.
But yeah, it's I guess got
Oh,
a
it's
similar.
that one. Right. Yeah, it's the big.
Oh, it's that one.
Well, I mean, you know, yeah. It's the red pointy thing one. Weird. Hey, that doesn't look like anything we've seen before. I mean, give him credit. It's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a thing design.
It looks like something out of G-Force, though. It looks like something out of Gotchamon or Battle of the Planets. The same thing.
Could have been
It looks
the
like one of the
same
enemy
design.
ships. And by the way, G-Force is awesome. Just saying.
Firefly though. Oh wow, search Firefly and it comes up with the actual Firefly. No. I want the real Firefly. Thoughts on that?
What, the ship?
Well, no, the show.
I don't know.
Oh.
Haven't watched it. Have it on Blu-ray. Know all about it, but haven't watched it. That's something I should put in one night instead of watching YouTube.
Well, like it, Stuart. I should come to your house for a week and we'll just do daily reviews of Firefly as our lives.
Maybe.
Guys, would you super chat to see us do a 14-day plus movie live stream bonanza if I went to his house and did it in person?
No, they would do it for Expanse, though.
They would do it for Expanse though.
And I'd almost rather watch something that neither one of us is familiar with when we watch it together than having one of us know all about it, because that kind of takes the fun out of it a little bit.
But it's such a short thing though. But I haven't seen him for a long time, to be fair. I've seen a couple a few times, but I haven't seen the middle ones very much.
Yeah, I need to watch them. I have them all, but anyway.
I also really want to get a Mal Reynolds costume, even though it is just a brown duster with trousers and but it's just when it comes to it, because I like trench coat outfits. That's why I've got my Doctor Who one and my Farscape one. They're just trench coat costumes. But I think I'd look quite good in all brown. I don't know.
Yeah.
The swagger you get when wearing a trench coat costume is awesome.
Yeah, I used to have a black duster
Uh-huh.
back in the day. I was a big fan of Forever Night.
And people saying yes. Lots of people saying yes to that.
Forever Night. Forever Night. There's one. It's not really science fiction. It's about a vampire, but fantastic show. Met the lead actor a few times. He lives in Stratford, which is...
Oh, cool.
Anyway. Fleet Boss Swiftback puts in $1.99. Maybe might get shot for this. Fringe from JJ. JJ does good stuff when it's his own shit. Just don't touch anybody else's franchise. So,
I've seen season 1 of Fringe.
I haven't seen it.
Right. I did enjoy season 1 of Fringe. I know it goes downhill really quickly. As soon as JJ leaves, it like bombs a bit. I believe I've heard like the end season's terrible because he left. He had mystery boxes. He had no plans for it, and so the conceptual mysteries of the season 1 didn't go anywhere and wasn't very good. But I enjoyed season 1, and seeing Len Nimoy turn up was so satisfying. He'd passed on by that point, so it was like I'm seeing him for the first time again. And I like all the actors. Although it's left no impression on me in terms of what's in it. I saw the entire season in a couple of weeks. I couldn't tell you the story. And that's not a good sign, is it? Because I was enjoying it. So I don't think it's that memorable, I guess. But I wouldn't call it sci-fi, even though it is alternate universe, I think. But I wouldn't call it... I mean, again, Eureka is more sci-fi, certainly. But the main old guy is great, and I remember that.
And Christopher Rollins, you do not need to put a bucket list together for me. There's a lot of stuff that I have on a list of myself that I need to watch. I do not have the time or the... I don't have the time to sit down and watch it. When I watch something, literally I put in and I watch maybe 4 or 5 episodes if I can. I like to take it in chunks. I've been watching Hell on Wheels. I completely forgot about it for 3 months. Started watching it again last night. Watched 4 episodes of season 5 last night. Still not finished yet. So my watch schedule, I need to schedule time in a day to watch a specific thing or whatever. Otherwise, I won't do it. But yes.
No, I know what you mean. Well, that's the thing. We don't watch TV. We watch content.
Yeah, well, we also watch some TV that we DVR. There's some shows that Sylvia and I like to watch. So that kind of gets in the way too, because we go up and watch it. And anyway, yeah. And I'm always up for watching Star Trek, and it's always on CTV Sci-Fi. So usually watch that while we're making supper. And watch an episode or 2 or a part of an episode.
That's why I know them better than me, because I've only watched them once, maybe twice.
Yeah. But yeah, would love a new Stargate series, says Squadric Horse.
There should be one.
Would you want a remake, though, like BSG did?
Oh, no. No. I mean, you could...
Oh, you don't like people remaking your franchises? Okay, gotcha. Just kidding.
Well, BSG had one movie... Well, had 12 episodes. Stargate had 17 seasons and 2 movies. And it didn't even reboot the movie, so not the same thing. It's like rebooting Trek. You shouldn't reboot Trek, really.
Guess what? They did.
No, they did. I mean, you could, but it would feel hollow because it was done so well twice. So what would be the point? Unless you made it so radically different, in which case you're just using the name to earn money. Now, obviously, you could do a soft reboot in the sense of... I mean, Stargate was fun because it always took place during the modern day. So it started in 1994 or 6 and ended in 2012. Every year was the year. So the fact that it's now 2020... If you restart it in 2022 or whatever, it would then be 10 years later. So you could do a soft reboot, and the fact that it's now 10 years have passed, the universe is different by 10 years, and the universe changed drastically in 10 years before that. So you could have it be a reboot in the sense of now the world knows about Stargate, and you've now got ships. It would be about, so it would be a soft reboot, kind of like Force Awakens, just with respect given rather than fuck you to the old players. You'd make them all amazingly good people and just introduce new characters. But I mean, continuation is the only way to go.
But
yeah,
why are they remaking BSG again?
Well, they're not. That's the interesting thing about that one. It's in the same RDM universe. They've confirmed that. So it's still in the 2004 continuity. It's just different.
Doesn't that worry you a little bit?
I don't know.
It scares me.
I mean, there's things you could do in the BSG universe, like the first Cylon War. Blood and Chrome was great. You could have it, you know... You could say, oh, a Cylon colony ship went 500 years off it to the right. You know, and now they've... You know, you could do something in the same universe, and you could say, a 14th colony that was never known about. You could sort of retcon things in a little bit as long as they were separate. And that would let you use the same mythology. But they would want to do new ship designs, and it's tricky because the story is so, like, closed. Like...
Yeah, exactly.
There's not really... You can only go backwards, and then you got prequel fatigue. If you went forwards, you get just... They ain't flying ships anymore. But the fact they've said that is interesting. So probably a side story. I mean, okay, question to you, though. Would you watch a Battlestar Galactica series which didn't feature the Galactica because it's been destroyed?
Yes.
So the ship is not the point of the show then.
Not after the initial show. It's the universe at that point.
Okay. So it's about
So yes.
Galactica universe.
Like, would you watch a Star Trek show without the Enterprise?
We did it several times, yes. But
Exactly.
it's not called. But it's not called Star Trek Enterprise. I know what you mean. It's like Babylon 5. Would you watch? They tried to make shows of Babylon 5 without Babylon 5, and all of them failed. But they still call it Babylon 5 because it's the franchise universe. But that's interesting. But yeah, the Battlestar Galactica doesn't feature the Galactica.
Well, it'll be BSG something, or BSG will be in the title somewhere.
Well, that's true. Yeah, Then it feels like it's sort of a subset.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah, but your answer for why you shouldn't reboot Stargate is just to make money and it'll be hollow. It's like, yep, we've been through this with Star Trek.
Yes, I know.
So.
Yeah, and I mean things like the Power Rangers movie and lots of other films that just make the money and go away.
Yeah.
Things have legacies because they're fleshed out and they mean something, and when they don't, yeah. As I was talking to someone the other day about, you don't need something perfect for you to enjoy it, and I agreed. The thing is, the better you make it, the more it will last and be memorable. If you're already writing something, why not make it as good as it can be? Why end it pretty good and just release it or film it? I know there's obviously potentially time constraints, but why are you accepting a project which is only okay? And if you know that, well, you're not striving for the best, and also you're out of focus. And not all TV needs to be Dark Knight, but why make a film is only going to be a C? Why not try and make it as good as it can be? Now, if it's as good as you can do it, that's fine. But it just seems weird to me that you can argue, oh, it's just a this film. It's like, well, so you're allowing things to be bad? That's okay? It doesn't. Yeah, I never got that. You should always strive for the best, otherwise, what's the point?
That's why these franchises are the money makers they are, because they had the best and they got the fans, and then they try to use that to milk it for all the cash they can, and that's where it falls apart. Because they change it. They change the formula that worked because they want to be new and innovative, and just no.
Very strange.
So
very strange. And people about
and wasn't Caprica kind of like a series that was BSG but not?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. It was interesting in the sense they thought they could do that, but I don't know why they would think that off the success of BSG, a war battle show with fighting robots, they could do a show about crime bosses on a planet with a robot, sort of. I mean, as in,
That's what it's about. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it's about the very first Cylon model, and things go askew. It's an interesting potential concept, which is not well realized, and it's not what BSG fans wanted. And so you give us something that no one wants, no one watches it, it gets cancelled because no one wanted it. Like, you should be connected to your audience, otherwise what's the point? Now that's why the first Cylon War is more interesting. Because that's why Blood and Chrome is better, because you get the war stuff with the ship stuff and the character prequel stuff. You shouldn't go all the way back to the start or make it a single movie. I mean, it failed. Caprica is a failed experiment. I think it was already cancelled before it finished its first season, I think. I mean, what are you meant to get from it? It's an I mean, and there's a lot of religious stuff, like they're fighting a spiritual war. Good cast, but it wasn't the BSG anyone wanted. Just doesn't matter if it's good quality or not. If it's not what, It's like Stargate Universe, similar example. That was more Stargate than Caprica is BSG. But it was tonally radically different from Atlantis and SG-1. So the Stargate fans that went over, like, this isn't Stargate I wanted. Now, if you actually watch it as a binge, rather than week on week as we all did at the time, the story and the Stargateness comes through because you'll just watch it, you're just enjoying the story, and it's actually very, very good, and it's ahead of its time. Stargate Universe works now, didn't work then. Because it was serialized. 2 seasons to build up one story, and it was a 5-year arc, and they couldn't get to it, it's nowadays storytelling that was ahead of its time. If it was now, it'd be praised for everything about it: the story, the cast, the costumes, the set, the budget, everything it passes now. Not coming off the other Stargates, you know.
That's sad, actually.
Yeah, if it was the reboot, like if it was 10 years later, you'd feel it makes sense, you know. Like how Discovery is dark and gritty, as the other ones are not, sort of. But obviously that disrespects the Trek that did very well. So it's weird. Bit weird.
And yes, Christopher Owens, he does. Samuel basically describes the problem with naming a show after a ship, station, or planet. Essentially, yes. Yep.
But that's why Caprica's just called Caprica. Like, that didn't try and be. That was very distinct.
Probably one of the reasons it didn't do so well. Maybe not a lot of people knew that it was connected.
But it's just like, it's like one big prequel flashback. You know?
Yeah.
Because it's like, would you, for example, Stuart, if they were to say next week, new on CBS All Access, the Zephyr and Cochrane show. Let's see Zephyr and Cochrane on Earth, deal with Earth politics, and be in a bunker, build a warp ship, and then meet Vulcans by the end of season 1. It's like, is that really the Star Trek anyone wants to see?
No, but I'd watch it because it's Star Trek.
But it wouldn't be good Star Trek. It would be thing that takes place in the Trek universe, but it wouldn't be Star Trek.
Yep.
Even if you met Vulcans, it'd be a good movie, maybe. Like, no, it wouldn't. Nope. It'd be a good TV miniseries, as long as like the first episode was the first bit, and then it brought in the Vulcans, then it was the Vulcan stuff, like the Trek stuff, you know. But that wouldn't be Star Trek. It would be a thing that takes place in the Trek universe. You know, and in fact, First Contact is interesting because you have the non-Trekkie on the planet stuff, then you have the incredibly Trekkie planet ship stuff, because you have TNG cast, you have the Borg, you have a lot of ship stuff, you have a lot of set stuff. That's very Trekkie, and the other stuff isn't very Trekkie. Put them together, balances out very well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, guys, it's been fun. You've put a lot of super chats in, giving us a lot to talk about. Hopefully we didn't or anybody.
Yeah, you guys did awesome. And no one put in for Farscape, so I couldn't talk about Farscape. Boo. It's good to watch.
Yeah, I've never seen Farscape, so
that's a good watch.
Well, I have it.
Yeah, brilliant art design, brilliant cast, and the cast elevates its material for the first season. Then the material catches up with the cast.
I'll have to watch it. I do have it, so I'll need to take a look at it.
Yeah, that is as good as Firefly in that it creates a unique universe with a unique vibe that fully commits. It's not like anything else. It's very, very unique. And it's not trying to be anything else. It is very, very special in that regards. And it's one of the more underappreciated in terms of once it happened, it got forgotten almost. It didn't have any. I mean, so did BSG, which is kind of weird. You'd think BSG would have more of a long life, given its iconic nature at the time.
And Dan, yes, somebody brought it up earlier. It was in a list. Didn't really talk about it, but Orville, yeah.
Oh, I said look forward to it, yeah.
Forward to more.
Yes.
But yeah, it's a good show.
Yeah, it is, and it makes you appreciate the idea of Star Trek more.
Yep. It's the new TNG.
Well, it's the new Voyager in terms of aliens and sci-fi themes, but with a TNG cast. Like, it's not Enterprise or TOS. Yeah, it's really Voyager and TNG combined.
That's named after the ship. So I mean, if they ever have a spin-off show, the Orville Wilbur, like, it's
the Planetary Union Adventures.
Sounds like something that they'd watch on their holodeck or their environmental simulator, or whatever they call it.
Okay, if there was one alien race, I know that you don't particularly like the idea of a Worf spin-off show, which is fine. If there was one alien race in Orville that they were going to do like a 6-episode miniseries spin-off show with, which one would be the most interesting to watch? Of all the aliens in Orville. Just them. Humans are in it, but like they are the crew, they are the ship, they are
the blob guy. What's his name? Can't remember his name now.
Javik?
God damn it.
Is it Javik?
Yavik.
Yavik.
Yeah. Yavik would be cool. Ship full of like snot monsters. That'd be kind of neat. See what they do, how they live.
So basically, Stuart, you want an empty room in every scene. They're filming empty rooms and then put digital creatures. There's no humans. But it's still live action.
Yep.
Real sets.
Yep.
No actors. I like that. I wasn't sold to realize how easy it would be filmed.
You could do it during the COVID crisis because you could just get voice actors to do their thing at home.
And VFX people as well, yeah. I think Mocklins could be kind of interesting. They got fleshed. I know they're very Klingon-y.
Yeah.
They get fleshed out quite a lot. Like a Mocklin adventure of, like, a very focused story. You know, the Mocklins search their old homeworld, or a Mocklin ship from 1,000 years ago comes back and they bring, you know, old ways. Something really focused could be really interesting, I think.
Mm-hmm. Jonathan Erdman, Star Carrier book series by Ian Douglas is really cool. I'd like to see that made into a TV show or streaming show.
Ooh. And that was a $10, so I'll bring back the Google thing.
Star Carrier, I can't say as I've ever heard of it. Ian Douglas name sounds familiar.
I like the book cover. That's a nice, very conventional space station, but I like the shades of blue. Cool. Yeah.
I can't see it yet. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it looks like her space dock though.
Yeah. Oh, is this literally the guy that made? Oh, this is the guy that literally built the. So I found the guy that actually built the station for the front covers. Like I like that cover. Yeah, because he built 3 models for it. That's funny. I'm gonna save that. It's cool. But yeah, it's definitely Earth space dock, isn't it? It's not very. But it's a good shape though. That's the thing. It's a good sort of shape.
Everybody's been mentioning Sequest. We didn't miss Sequest. We'll talk about it now. Sequest, yay, submarine.
Again,
it was all right.
Wouldn't quite
good
Sci-Fi, but
good first season. Well, there were aliens in it, so.
Yeah, but I guess the premise isn't sci-fi, even if it becomes sci-fi. If that makes sense. Yeah, I haven't seen it. It was definitely, a 90s show. It was on TV in the UK, so I never saw it. And again, when do you feel like going back and watching a 25-year-old show you've never seen? I do actually have to watch Space Above and Beyond. That's actually on my list of I need to... Now, it's only 13 episodes, so it's easy. But that I have connections to now, and I have to understand the show to be able to get it. So, that's on my list. Which I know people quite liked. And it'll be an easy watch. I mean, I could probably watch that in like 3 days, couldn't I? Really?
Yeah. We passed with back with $2. How about Terranova? Love Terranova. That ended very unceremoniously, unfortunately.
Oh,
very cliffhangery, and it was weird because a lot of the writing was very reminiscent of DS9. I forget who was working on it. Yeah. Even the bartender and stuff was very similar to Quark. Like there was a lot of parallels, especially coming up to the end of the show. Because my son Thomas was really into it when it was on, and Sylvie and I were watching it with him. It's like, this is a lot like DS9. Like there's just a lot of similarities as far as writing goes and characters.
I don't remember enough to even remember that parallel. It's interesting. I have to go back and rewatch that.
I'd say watch it with that in mind, and you'll see what I'm saying.
I think my favorite thing is the music in that show. It's glorious. I had the soundtrack from years ago. Really beautiful soundtrack. It's so original and so like epic and grandiose and really nice soundtrack. I just find it funny that the camp leader is playing the same guy he played in Avatar like 1 year earlier.
Yeah.
It's like he's like 92%. It's just really just funny to watch it back to back. Oh, it's the same guy. But he's good though. He's good.
Yeah.
I remember liking the family a lot. They did a good job with having a family unit that was interesting, which doesn't always work. And the end season plot stuff is really intriguing. It's like, oh, that's okay.
But we'll never find out now. Cliffhanger.
Nope. But it was the most expensive show ever made at the time of its type, and it was unceremonious with its budget because they genuinely went out and built the entire exterior set, the entire camp, in a field, I think New Zealand, and it was still there for like 10 years because they could just leave and not to break it cost money, so they just left it. So you could literally just walk around the entire with the walls, like it was all standing still. Obviously the buildings were hollow, but they were like, let's just build it all. First, it's like building a bridge of Trek. You build the expense, but now every single shot has a production value in it. I remember some people trying to buy it for years, or the land or whatever. It was a weird story. It was eventually destroyed, but it was up for years.
Jordan Shred, $2.
Thank you.
Any RTS players here? I love the HomeWorld series.
I played some of it. It's a very long game.
What's RTS?
Real-time strategy.
Oh.
HomeWorld is one of the first ones. It was one of the first with 3D graphics. And it's good. The story's fun. But it's just very long. I mean, when I was younger, I didn't even have as much time to play games because they'd take... I wanted to replay it, but again... It's like, sometimes, Stuart, you want to play the game for the story and put on easy. Because you don't want it to take 9 hours. You want it to take 5. But that sort of game, you can't. There's some great mods for it, like Stargate, Star Wars, Star Trek, Battlestar. There's a great community that just do all of them. But yeah, HomeWorld has some fun stuff in it, and I think if I'm remembering correctly, it's a game where the early on premise is basically you get lost. You and your one big mothership ship, which can build other ships, gets lost in another part of the galaxy, and you're like, shit. I guess we're here now. Huh. Which is a great starting off point, for a game. It's a fun place to go. Ugh.
Anywho, guys.
Successful.
So last super chat slot time, and don't forget that tomorrow, we have the awesome Rick Sternbach joining us at 5 p.m. Same time. I know you didn't make a promo for him like you did for Doug, but that's okay. So Rick Sternbach is joining us tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for a live with us for 2 hours, 2.5 hours, whatever it takes, where you guys can come in and ask him questions. And of course, he's designed a lot of stuff for Voyager and DS9 and even stuff for TNG. He's very influential in the world of Star Trek. So if you guys want to talk to Rick, come by tomorrow to the live, and yeah,
if you've seen Voyager, you've seen one of his designs. Pretty much designed everything from that. And I mean, he's the guy that designed the Federation aesthetic after Andrew Probert. I mean, John Eves designed the E, and the E influenced other things, but he only designed the E and the shuttles. He didn't design the other carrier ship or capital ships, whereas Rick designed the Type 9 shuttle, the Dauntless, the Equinox, the Raven, the Relativity, which is obviously the last ship in the Trek canon, all the Voyager variants, Delta Flyer, Aero Shuttle, Admiral's future shuttle. I mean, he designed all this future tech. The Aeon, you talk about everything from, Raven older tech to relatively newer tech. I mean, he did the entire plethora, plus every alien. Just really a talented guy that, we both like a lot. And he helped me design my USS Horizon. So if you have any questions about my ship, you can ambush us, I guess. Yeah. Make us talk, because,
I missed a Jordan Shred super chat of $2. Have you discussed Lex yet? I got here late. No, well, people have been talking about it in the chat. Lex was a really weird one. I never really got into. I saw bits and pieces of it, but some really interesting ship designs. And
yeah, I did put the pictures on the screen, but you didn't ever talk about the super chat, so I was prepping for it.
Sorry.
It's fine. Haven't seen it. Looks weird. Looks a bit sexist. The pictures of people in bikinis and stuff, and it was in the search history.
Lots of TNA in it for sure.
Yeah, I have no concept of the show at all.
Yeah, it's one I wouldn't mind watching though.
I wonder why. So is that? Do we have a final super chat? Is that what's happened? Oh no, we haven't.
No.
But we've got 250 people watching, which is brilliant. Thank you so much. Tomorrow you should definitely join in. I mean, he designed, 100 more ships than Doug? Doug designed like 5 ships and Rick's done like 160. So, slightly different level, in terms of ship design. Like Doug's done more variety in his career, but Rick's designed far more ships and tech. I mean, he designed like most of the initial props in like mid TNG, I think.
In TNG. Yeah, he did the tricorder and the hyposprays and stuff like that. Yep. He even has patents for the designs.
God, that's fun.
Yeah,
I know Andy helped the original props, but yeah, I mean, like all the phase 2 phases tricorders are all Rick. Yeah, brilliant. Oh, we got 2.
Fleet Pod Swiftback puts in $2. Do I get to win today? It looks like no, because Alexis puts in $10 and says Stuart spelt wrong. So I don't know who you're talking to.
Well, Patrick Stewart, obviously.
Oh, yes, Patrick Stewart. I highly recommend you look into Space Battleship Yamato, $21.99. If your issue was pacing with the original, $21.99 is much more recent reboot, which is more better paced, in my opinion. Yeah, I would be interested in giving it a watch, but it's time.
Well, maybe that's
finding it.
Maybe that's a Fleet Yard special we should do. I haven't seen that.
Yeah. So Zaraxis has the last super chat slot.
And it's a good one.
It's a damn good one. $10. That's awesome. You guys have been fantastic tonight. Make sure you hit like before you leave, and don't forget to subscribe, and come back tomorrow to check out our talk with Rick, which will be fun because you can ask him any ship questions, and he'll roll his eyes and go, "Oh, we never really thought about it, but here's what I would do," and he'll give you the answer regardless.
Here's my full practical and in-canon reason, and I've never thought about it before. Sure, I have. Sure, you haven't, Rick. Sure, you haven't. He loves this shit. Alright, so until then, I'm Commander Coggins.
And I'm Captain Foley.
He will be Rick Sternbach.
Next tomorrow, yeah.